Alex, this weekend Sports Illustrated reported that in 2003 you tested positive for testosterone and an anabolic steroid known as primobolan. What's the truth?
When I arrived in Texas in 2001, I felt an enormous amount of pressure. I felt like I had all the weight of the world on top of me, and I needed to perform, and perform at a high level every day. Back then, it was a different culture. It was very loose. I was young. I was stupid. I was naive. And I wanted to prove to everyone that, I was worth, and being one of the greatest players of all time. And I did take a banned substance. And, for that, I'm very sorry and deeply regretful. And although it was a culture back then, and Major League Baseball overall was very, I just feel that, I'm just sorry. I'm sorry for that time. I'm sorry to my fans. I'm sorry for my fans in Texas. It wasn't until then that I ever thought about substance of any kind. And since then, I've proved to myself and to everyone that I don't need any of that. And
so you're saying that the time period was 2001, 2, and 3?
That's pretty accurate, yes.
And what kind of substances were you taking?
Peter, that's the thing. I mean, again, it was such a loosey-goosey era that's I'm guilty for a lot of things. I'm guilty for being negligent, naive, not asking all the right questions. And to be quite honest, I don't know exactly what substance I was guilty of using.
Where did you originally get the substance?
Again, at the time, you have nutritionists, you have doctors, you have trainers. That's the right question today. Where did you get it? We're in the era of the Bacco and Mitchell era. Back then, it was just about what, and there's many things that you can take that are banned substances. I mean, there's things that have been removed from GNC today that would trigger a positive test. I'm not sure exactly what substances I used, but whatever it is, I feel terribly about it.
Now, when did you get the wake-up call?
It wasn't until 2003. I was laying in my bed in Surprise, Arizona. We were doing a team conditioning down by the pool in Arizona, and I suffered a very serious neck injury that went all the way down to my spine. And I missed about 2.5 weeks of spring training, and I was scared that I was going to miss time. I also had a streak of about 400 games consecutive played, or 300, I'm not sure what the number was. But it was at that point in bed that I realized, what am I doing? Not only am I going to hurt my baseball career, but I'm going to hurt my post career. And it was time to grow up, stop being selfish, stop being stupid, and take control of whatever you're ingesting. And for that, I couldn't feel more regret and feel more sorry, because I have so much respect for this game and the people that follow us and respect me. And I know I have millions of fans out there that are, will never look at me the same.
How were you introduced to these substances? Was it at the gym? Was it from other players?
The culture was pretty prevalent. There was a lot of people doing a lot of things. There was a lot of gray area too. Back then you can walk in GNC and get 4 or 5 different products that today will probably trigger a positive test. It wasn't a real dramatic day once I arrived in Texas that something monumental happened in my life. The point of the matter is that I started experimenting with things that today are not legal or today are not accepted, and today you will get in a lot of trouble for. Ever since that, that incident that happened to me in Arizona in Surprise, I realized that, you know what, I don't need any of it, and what I have is enough, and I've played the best baseball of my career since. I've won 2 MVPs since, and I've never felt better in my career. So that I'm very proud of.
So the test that was failed in 2003, that came off what you were using at the beginning of spring training before you got hurt?
I'm not sure exactly of the timing of everything, because it is a long time. It's been almost 6 years. But I do remember thinking in my bed in Arizona, is like, what am I doing? Wake up. Stop being selfish. And you get to a point where you get tired of being stupid and selfish and not being honest with yourself. And that's what I realized in 2003. So I am sorry for my Texas years. I apologize to the fans of Texas. And there's absolutely no excuse, and I really feel bad about it.
To talk a little bit about that culture, it was an underground culture. Player said to me last summer that he really believes that in that period between about 98 and 2004, that the players who didn't do one thing or another were either scared or didn't care. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think you just felt a tremendous need to keep up and to play well and to play. You know, it was hot in Texas every day. It was over 100 degrees, and you know, you felt like without trying to over-investigate what you're taking, can I have an edge just to get out there and play every day? And that's what it came down to. I can't speak for everybody who did it. I can only speak for myself. And regardless of what we want to mask and say and justify, there's absolutely no excuse for what I did. I'm sorry. And if I was a fan of mine, a fan of the Rangers, I would be very pissed off. And I can't take that back, but just realize that I'm sorry, and I want to do things to change